Morning and welcome back to another episode of Live with Brittnie in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Massat. I'm president and CEO of Chamber South. And today I have with me a very, very, very special guest. Her name is Yesenia Moreno. She is the founder and executive vice president of New Edge Associates. Hi, Yesenia.
Hi, Brittnie.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Okay, so no disrespect to any of the other guests that have been on Live with Brittnie, but Yesenia is such an amazing ball of energy and positivity that I truly think this is going to be one of our best shows. We're going to have a ton of fun. We're going to laugh. It's just going to be such a great time. I know her really well. She's a very dear friend of mine. She's on our board of directors here at Chamber South. She's an amazing community advocate. She loves our community, supports. She's everywhere. She is really, truly just like the face of Miami in this world. And so I know her, but you guys don't. So Yesenia, why don't you talk to our audience, talk to our guests a little bit. Tell us about your personal and professional journey, how you got to where you are today, and throw in a fun fact. You can start with your fun fact if you wanted.
So, fun fact is I love karaoke. And
do you want to do a little bit of karaoke right now? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I love karaoke and I love the microphone. So those who know me know that if we're in a public event and there's a microphone, I would probably get microphone happy. And how I started my journey was I started as a temp. I actually became, I started temp jobs. There was back in the days an agency called Girl Friday in Hastings and I started as a temp. And
it was called Girl Friday?
Yep, that was
wow.
one of the original staffing companies, Girl
wow.
Friday.
Okay.
And so it was the concept of, going in and looking for work. And, when I went to school, I studied teaching and realized quickly that I didn't want to be a teacher. And then I transitioned into psychology and that really didn't last long. And then I transitioned into human resources and I found that I really liked it. I liked dealing with people. I liked, engaging with candidates. And I transitioned into like a temp job within human resources back then for Kodak, the people who used to make the cameras. And
wow, you're saying some terms here.
Yeah, 90s. And it was a great position. I stayed there. At that time, I was pregnant with my first daughter. And when I left, I decided to take on a temp role after I had her part-time. And I was called in for a project at First Union, which is now Wells Fargo. And it was an amazing experience. And that's how I started my recruiting career within banking. I was given a challenge to hire 200 people. And I did. And after a year and a half, the attrition was minimum. Like we had not lost a lot of people. So I was very proud of that.
That's incredible. That's amazing. What about your personal journey? Tell me a little bit about that. Were you born and raised in Miami?
I am a 305 girl, born and raised in Miami. I went to a private school. My graduating class was all but 30 kids. So it was like, fun fact. So when I got to college, the first thing I did was I joined a fraternity and I was a sister in a fraternity. So I was in charge of membership. Needless to say, we were the best one.
Of course.
Yes. And then I met my husband in college and the rest is history.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. And of course, you said you were in charge of membership and of course you guys were the best one. And if you know Yesenia, she has this ability to have people, people follow her. She inspires. And so when you're friends with Yesenia, there's a lot of things that you get involved with and that you do because she inspires you to do that. And she's always getting involved with a number of causes and as a result, will pull you into that fold. So I love that. I absolutely love that.
Even if you don't want to, I'll make you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a big voluntold person. You get voluntold a lot with Yesenia. Okay, so you said that you talked a little bit about like your college career and like what some of the things that you studied there. But when you were younger, like when you were a little girl, what did you want to be when you grew up? And how do you think that shaped what you do today?
I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to like teach people things and I wanted to like run the board and I wanted to stand in front of people and tell them what they were going to do. And like, I would always be the one in class. I would be when the teacher says who wants to like clean the board, that was me. And I would write, even though my handwriting was horrible, they would just let me do it because I like helping people. I think being a teacher, I thought I would educate and change the world. And quickly, as I grew older, I transitioned into, I say it, I change people's lives one placement at a time. And there's no greater gratification than when you get that person who, is looking to make a career move, or when you get that person that, go back to my first experience at First Union, I just needed to hire multilingual people. Well, some of those one of them ended up being the head of HR at a bank 30 years later. And, to this day, she still thanks me for that. And so that's where I quickly realized that staffing was for me. I started in recruiting, and I would do like career fairs and go to the colleges, and I'm very good at projects. So project management, and when you need mass people, I love it because I am all about the referrals, and who do you know, and staying in touch with talent. It's not just, fill and bill, right? It's more like engage with your people, know who you're working with, your client and your candidate. And that gives me a great, great gratification.
That's
It fulfills.
that's incredible when you think about when you think about what a new job means to someone. That is such a powerful thing. It's whether you're transitioning, whether you're getting a promotion, whether you're advancing in your career, whether you're getting your foot in the door in something that you've always wanted to do, but no one ever took that risk or that chance on you. When you look at everything that a new job signifies to someone, it's change, it's positive change, it's growth, it's opportunity, it's excitement. And getting to be a part of that is so incredible. Being able to do that is amazing. So I absolutely love that for you. And you're right. You've taken sort of your love and your passion for, helping people and educating and teaching and applying that to your field, I think is really important too. So this is going to be a fun question because I know Yesenia, and she's involved in a number of things. I always like to ask, what are you the most passionate about? And this could be personally, it could be professionally, it could be anything, whether it's a specific cause, which good luck picking one, whether it's a specific cause or whether it's your family or whatever the case may be. What is it that you're truly passionate about that drives you, that you just have such a passion for?
My family, my daughters, my husband, our dog. That really is the force that pushes me every day. Every day.
Tell me a little bit about your family. How old are your daughters?
So my oldest is 25, my youngest is 23, and my dog is 9, I think.
Bronx, right?
Bronx.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Bronx is somewhere watching.
And your husband is in this venture with you.
Correct. My husband is my business partner. One of them, we have two. And so my husband always, he was in banking, he was in finance. He saw the journey that I had, for 20 years. And he would always say, you should do this on your own. You should take the leap of faith. And, I never had I don't know, I was always like that constant, like very loyal to my company. I wasn't going to do it. And in 2020, when the world
pandemic
changed,
hit, yeah.
my husband said it's time, and we took the leap of faith, and we are going on our 3-year anniversary now.
I know he was telling me. So Norman, hi Norman, shout out to Norman. I'm sure he's watching.
Norman better be watching.
Oh, Norman's watching. He's watching. We can see it on the screen.
Put a thumb or something. Put a thumb nowhere. Like
Norman's watching. Norman's watching. And Norman and I were actually chatting last night. We were at a Chambers networking event, and we were chatting last night. And he was telling me that, he had wanted he saw you guys doing this much sooner, back in 2012, and it just wasn't the right time. And he was saying, he's like, we're about to turn 3 in June, and I when he said that, I was like, wait, what?
A blink of an eye.
I couldn't even believe it. I honestly thought that you guys had been in existence for much longer. Yeah. But yes, that's incredible. That's such an accomplishment.
Yeah. And, to add to that, he did actually create business cards years ago, and they had a calendar behind them. And the name was a little different.
I was going to say, was it always New Edge Associates? What's the history behind the name?
It's different. Norman came up with it.
Norman was the brains behind the name.
Yeah, he was the brains behind the name, the logo. He's the artistic one. He really is the brains. I'm just the one that goes out and delivers.
If you guys know, if you know Norman and Yesenia, if you have the pleasure of getting to know them, you really would know that they are just true complements to each other, and they work so well together, and they are such a dynamic powerhouse team together. I mean, you're both amazing apart, but together you are a force to be reckoned with. So big shout out to Norman and always supporting you and supporting you and lifting you up and just empowering you to do everything that you do.
The yin to my yang.
All right, so we've touched on it a little bit, right? So we've said New Edge Associates. We've talked about like recruiting and staffing. People are probably like, wait, what's going on here? So let's talk about what New Edge Associates is. What do you guys do? Who you are? What do you do? Who do you serve? Some of the ways that people can get involved. I'll let you take the lead on that, even though I could probably talk a lot about New Edge Associates. I'll let you take the lead on that, and I'll jump in. I'll guide you around the way. But go ahead.
So New Edge Associates is a talent acquisition firm, and we specialize in the placements of individuals within banking, accounting, finance. We do administrative, logistics, healthcare. So
you specialize in those fields. But you do it across the board. Like
we do it across the board.
You can find candidates and positions and roles, and
Absolutely.
so even though there's a specialty in those specific fields, people can still reach out to you if they're not in those fields because you have the talent
and because of our connections.
Yes.
Correct. And so we assist individuals, be it on a contract basis, a permanent executive search. We have clients who retain us to find them some, C-level executives. We recently, our team completed a project. One of our clients needed a substantial amount of talent, about 20 candidates for 6 months to a year. And together as a team, we were able to deliver. We do contract to hire. We are the expansion to your company. So be it if you need somebody, again, short-term, long-term, whatever you're looking for, we are here to help you.
Temp to part-time to full-time to contract to
contract and executive search, correct.
That's
and
incredible.
We also do payroll services. So if your company has a couple of individuals that they themselves sourced out and they want to bring in, but they don't want to add them to their payroll, New Edge Associates does come in and do payroll services for them.
And so you're talking about your team and the team of people that you have around you that's helping you with this. And you guys have only been around for 3 years. So how big is your team? Tell me a little bit about them.
So fun fact, our team consists right now of 6. And one of our team members, everybody in our team is dynamic. We have a very diverse team, as we call it. One of my latest team member actually is a pillar in the staffing industry. And she worked for me at my prior company. And when we opened, Norman was like, she has to come and work with us. And Norman courted her, because I say him because he's the one who finally, and he courted her, and she finally joined us this year in January and just, hit the ground running.
That's awesome.
One of our team members has a financial background, and, she just came in and quickly found that this was a passion. Our other team member was in hospitality. And she also had staffing from her prior experience, and they're all doing amazing. Our manager, he's family, and Norman has taken him under his wing and taught him everything. He's amazing. He runs all our postings, the true engine, behind the company, the day to day. And then Norman, which we've already spoken about, and our business partner who lives out of Atlanta, and we just actually opened our office in Atlanta. Some of our clients have grown there, and we've acquired a couple of openings there, and so he's running that. And we're looking to continue hiring in Atlanta, and next stop is New York.
That's so exciting that you're expanding 3 years in and you're already going to different states.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
How exciting for you guys. That's amazing. Okay. So I promised you that I wouldn't ask her any tough questions, but we obviously can't talk about talent acquisition and recruiting and staffing without talking about kind of like what the workforce looks like today. And so it's been interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely been an employees market, I feel. Employees have a lot of luxury in terms of, employers are being very competitive with salaries, with benefits, with everything. And really I think we've seen a lot of, there's workforce challenges as a whole, right? There are some industries that you just cannot find people that want to work in those industries anymore. And then with the pandemic, so much has changed. The implementation and widespread acceptance of remote work has also changed the layout of kind of like what the workplace looks like. So let's talk a little bit about that, like what you're seeing and how, what you predict maybe, or let's just talk a little bit about sort of like workforce challenges in the workplace.
So it definitely is a challenge to find talent. We're not reinventing the wheel. We truly have, our approach is a bit different though, because what we do is we do a lot of direct recruiting. And a lot of our talent is referral based. So when you have a name in the industry and people know you and people know, we have repeat candidates that have been placed 10 years ago. I placed them at one bank. They're like, I remember you. And, can you help my daughter? Can you help my cousin? I have an aunt that relocated, stuff like that. We're very good at direct recruiting. Obviously we do our postings. Again, we're very referral based. You do encounter the candidates that only want remote work. I think, luckily, we are identifying sooner rather than later that a lot of our clients are preferring the individuals to come back.
So I was going to ask, is that shift happening? Are we
It is
seeing a lot
happening.
of employers wanting you to be in the office again?
Yes, it is happening. And, we actually just got one of our projects, which is 100% remote. And no surprise, that one was easy. Like, we just called in that vertical, we called those candidates that we had. And, within days, we already got that
You
taken
fill the
care of.
entire
Yeah,
project. Is it still an employee's marketplace?
absolutely.
Do you see that
Absolutely.
changing anytime soon?
I
Or
do
do you think
not.
that employers have to be really competitive and really think outside the box to find and retain good talent?
I think that and one thing that we have is we have a very clear communication with our clients. We have a very good relationship. We don't we deal directly with, the bank presidents, the SVPs of HR. We have um full access to department heads. So we know what they're looking for and we're very transparent. We don't just take openings. We literally have to walk away from some business because we know the market and we know that if you're calling us with a mass order and you're only paying a certain amount, that means that you're having issues yourself. And so we try to work closer to where we don't want to just take on an order and not deliver to the client.
You want to take the realistic positions that you can
Correct.
fill with the right people.
And maintain a reputation and name in the industry because you're only as good as the last person and client that you service.
Your
And
reputation is so important.
it is.
Yeah,
In this industry, it is.
that's absolutely incredible. Okay, so back to New York, back to New York Associates and some of your clients. And I know we talked about the specialty industries that you focus on, really like the banking and the accounting and finance. But of course, Chamber South, we're the small business champion. We have, we've got members in industries across the board. We work with a lot of not-for-profit groups. We work with, everything from like small mom and pop businesses to, huge, huge national corporations. And so is that like, would you work with a small not-for-profit to place a
Oh,
role?
yeah.
And like, is
We
there,
have.
yeah.
So,
I want to make sure that if someone's watching and
oh,
they're like,
yes,
"Oh,
yes,
Yesenia,
yes.
this seems like great, and I have a position to fill. Would she be able to help me?" The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. We actually have worked with a couple of not-for-profits, a couple of chambers, assisted them with openings. Again, we are not too big for anybody, and if you are a client, if you're in our network, and if we can be of assistance, we will. We will also be transparent if you give us an opening and we say, listen, we really cannot, but I can assure you that our team will give it 100% and we will deliver the best that we can.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Okay,
Client satisfaction.
so let's talk a little bit about. I want to talk about your corporate social responsibility component of New Edge Associates
Okay.
because you guys rock at that. Yesenia, Norman, and the entire team are big into giving back to our community, are big into corporate social responsibility. And you support a number of organizations, a number of causes. So tell me a little bit about that, some of the boards that you serve on, some of the organizations that you work with. If there's anyone that you want to shout out, but maybe don't start shouting out people because then you're going to forget someone. Just go through.
Probably won't forget. So I serve on a couple of boards. I proudly serve on the executive board. On the board of Chamber South. Very, very blessed and proud to be on your board. You truly are a leader in our community, and we appreciate everything you do for us. I am on the executive board of South Florida Banking Institute, which is a local board, for banking, and we're really big on the South Florida market. I serve on the board of Sebastian Strong, very dear to my heart. If you know the story, you know how important it is to be an advocate for them, and I serve proudly there. And I am also I am now starting a banking forum with the Doral Chamber of Commerce. So we will be launching that, and I think those are all the boards. And if I forgot one,
No, but you're still involved with a
oh, I'm
number of
sorry, and
organizations.
I'm on
United
the
Way. I was about to
executive.
say.
Executive Committee for Women United. Love it. We are a powerhouse of dynamic ladies, just like you.
Women United is through United Way Miami.
Yes,
Yes.
through. And I'm also a part of Miami Women Who Rock, with Emily Zuby. And anybody who knows Miami Women Who Rock knows that it's a privilege to be paired there again with you. So,
Yesenia and I follow each other around town. It's fine.
yeah.
Um,
And then as a company, we are. Oh, I am also the co-chair for sponsorship for Hard Hats and High Heels, which is for Miami Habitat for Humanity. We recently did a walk for Chapman Partnership. We are part of, other associations. New Edge Associates proudly supports all the local chambers. So Greater Miami, Coral Gables, Doral. We are also part of the Miami Lakes Chamber, and we just joined the Land and Builders
yeah.
Association.
And you're also involved in the Atlanta Chamber of Commerce, which I thought was
And Atlanta
awesome.
Chamber of Commerce, the greater Hispanic Chamber. Yes.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great to go there, and we'll be taking our cafecito con Yesenia to Atlanta soon.
I was going to talk about that in a minute, but I just really wanted to point out again, I think it's extremely important when you have organizations that, are here and they're helping the community and help, like you're doing your job, which is, the recruitment and staffing and talent acquisition, but then you're also giving back. I like to spotlight organizations that really buy into the corporate social responsibility of, I've been successful, this community has been good to me, and I want to pay it forward and I want to give it back to the community.
And that's what we do.
And you are a shining example. You yourself, you and Norman, and then New Edge Associates, because I think there are three categories there. Yesenia herself is everywhere, and then Norman supports her in certain endeavors, and then New Edge Associates is also a sponsor and supporter of other things. So it's
Our team
across the board.
community, and we're also part of the Tocqueville for United Way, and we support Awesome Foundation. Another great cause in our community. One of my best friends has two twin boys, autistic, and so that was very dear to heart to us and our family, and so we're proud sponsors too.
And I love how diverse your list is. I mean, you're talking about so many different things, so many different causes, and it's not just all focused in one. You're really trying to drop in as many different buckets as you can and make the most impact and change as you can, and really share the love and spread yourself across multiple different organizations and focusing on different causes. So that's
that's only the beginning.
Really great. I know. Believe me, I know. So Yesenia mentioned Cafecito con Yesenia. I probably didn't say that correctly. It's fine.
You said it perfect.
Yes. All right. So Yesenia mentioned Cafecito con Yesenia. And so tell us what that is, because that's a thing. Like, if you haven't had Cafecito con Yesenia, then you got to get on her list.
So Cafecito con Yesenia probably started way before social media. I've been doing this for years. I quickly learned in my career that it was all about relationship building. And so I had a boss that was awesome. She taught me everything I knew about networking and sales and whatever. And it was all about building relationships. And I quickly learned that my passion for cafecito and possibly pastelitos was what was going to be good to make appointments and engage with people. And so I would meet with people, and I'd say, let's meet for a cafecito, and let's meet for a cafecito. And then all of a sudden, come 2020, and everything became virtual, and our business didn't stop. I think that banking was at its prime during 2020. You had a lot of movement. You had the PPP loans, you had the audits, you had a lot. And so we were constantly going, and I needed to stay in front of our clients, so I started doing Cafecito con Yesenia virtually. And
You did it virtually?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yes, I would zoom in, and then
Would you send them a Starbucks gift card?
no. Should have done that. No, but it wouldn't be Cafecito if I did
Oh, that's
Starbucks.
true. It needs to be Cafecito.
Yeah, and so we would engage, and we would stay together, and we would talk. And Cafecito con Yesenia is a platform to let me know about you. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. How can I help you? And then when you're my client or you're my candidate, it's kind of like making sure that I am positioning the right talent in front of you, or the right client in front of you, because we service both the candidate and the client, and they're both as important. We're not a transactional firm. We know our people, and that's why my cafecito. And I have people come up to me, "You're the cafecito girl," and I'm like, "Yeah." So I literally have a waiting list for Cafecito con Yesenia.
How does one get on that waiting list if there's someone watching that's like, I want to have coffee with
If there's
Yesenia?
someone watching, they'll probably blow up my phone and say, "You see, I told you you don't have me." Just give me a call. I am very old school. I work on a calendar that I write on. I don't keep my dates on my phone. So anybody who tries to make an appointment with me realizes that quickly you have to wait for me to get back to the next day. But I'm always open for cafecito. I can give you industry insight. I can, talk to you about how I can help your company grow, alleviate some of the workload, or just meet for a delicious cup of coffee.
And it's such a powerful platform when you think about it. It's coffee, it's a cup of coffee, and it's just conversation over coffee
Correct.
with friends, and that's incredible. So another question I want to ask you, and when you look at everything that you've done in your career with starting a business and growing it so quickly in such a short time, and your amazing family, and just looking back at all of that for where you are right now, what is it that you are most proud of?
My daughters.
Your family.
My
Yeah.
family, my daughters, my husband, the family we've built, the name we've made, because this is for our children at the end of the day. It's a legacy you leave behind. And I'm proud that we are where we are today. And I appreciate our community, our clients, our friends, and our family for that, because we didn't do it alone.
That's incredibly important. And I always say, you are only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and nobody accomplishes anything alone. And a lot of the times when you get praised, you get told like, oh, congratulations, you did such a good job, and the whole nine, and you have like incredible success. But that success belongs to the team of people around you. It doesn't belong to any one individual. I think it's everyone that supported you along the way.
Absolutely.
Because truly nobody accomplishes anything alone, whether it's your team who's by your side helping you, or whether it's your support system, which is your family, who also supports you in a very different way, but it's still as valuable, if not more valuable. So that's really important.
And our team really, everybody brings a different attribute to the company, and they work really hard, and they really give 100%. And so we're blessed. We really are.
It sounds like you
We're
are.
in a good place, and we're beyond grateful.
Awesome. So this is our last. We're getting ready to wrap up. It's been an amazing show. It's been so much fun. The last question that we always ask our guests is a two-part question. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received, and what advice would you like to leave our audience with today?
So the best piece of advice is take that leap of faith. Had I done this 20 years ago, I would have probably, I would have lived my dreams sooner. If you're passionate about something, don't sleep on it. Don't wait. Just, go with your gut feeling. Take a hunch, and always build those relationships, because those relationships, those friendships, those partnerships are going to make your future, and make your path. And be grateful. Always be grateful. Always give back, and always thank God.
You are a shining example of all of that. Definitely get out of your own way, find your passions and pursue them. Take that leap of faith, and remember to stay humble and stay grateful throughout the entire process.
And don't give up.
I love that. All of these things have been so incredibly powerful today. So thank you, Yesenia, for joining us on Live with Brittnie.
Thank you, Brittnie.
This has been another episode of Live with Brittnie in partnership with our friends here at Miami Community Newspapers. These shows are filmed every Friday morning right here at Miami Community Newspapers studio. So if you'd like to be on the next Live with Brittnie, feel free to give us a call, 305-661-1621, or you can email us at info@chambersouth.com.